This is part 3 of the tutorial for completing your Word resume assignment tutorial. And by the end of part 2, we got to step 7, which is, like an optional thing. You may do it or not. You can still get a perfect A without it. If you want to add to the sections that were already listed, if you want to add things like, awards, accolades, whatever was not covered by references, skills, education, and experience. Then we are getting to the requirement that has to do. Notice that so far I haven't changed, anything has to do with looks like colors and things like that. And you can really take two approaches. And it's listed in number 8. You may use one of the themes that are built into Word, but if you do, you must change something about it. So let's cover that first. Don't use a Word theme as is. I'm also emphasizing that a theme is not a template. A theme is a collection of like fonts and colors and things like that. A template is already a structure. If you didn't start it as a template, then it's not going to be a template anyway. So where do we find the themes, the ones that you are allowed to use? You don't have to. You're allowed to use it. So we find those themes under layout, under design, the design tab. And right here, the very first button is a gallery of themes. So, for instance, let's say, as you roll over them, it's going to, maybe give you a preview. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Let's say I'm just curious, what is the Ion theme? And it changes my whole resume to the Ion theme. Or, a theme called Madison, or a theme called, Retrospect. Let's say that I chose one of those. I need to still make some changes in it, because the one thing I don't want you to do is to use a theme as is. And there's a few things I can do. First of all, there's all those variants here. All these are variants of the theme that I used. It could still be the theme, let's say, Berlin, but it could be this variant of Berlin, or this variant of Berlin, or this variant of Berlin. I'm going to undo these changes just so I can show you another approach. What I can do is choose a theme to my liking and then go to colors and choose a different color scheme. Let's say green, because it matches my personality, or red, orange, or any one of those. Or one more thing you could do is say, well, I like what I did, only I want one more change. I'd like, for instance, my heading 1s to look different. I can take one heading 1 and go, okay, I'm going to go to home. I'm going to make you bold. And I'm going to also, in the paragraph group, there's a place for borders. So I can give this heading 1 a bottom border. I'm just giving you an idea. You don't have to follow it. I can give it a bottom border. I'm going, oh wow, that looks kind of cool for my heading 1s. And I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go to the style called heading 1, right click on it, and update all the heading 1s to have that. And now objective and experience and education and all of them have that. And I can always change my mind. I can go, oh, you know what? Actually, that border doesn't work for me. Maybe I want just a left border on it. Maybe a left and a bottom. See, it's like, I can check multiple ones. Or no borders at all. Whatever I do to it, I can also, make it bold, make it italic, make it a different color if I want to, because, that blue doesn't work for me. So I want, gray. Whatever I do, I can go to the style called heading 1 and update all of them, because the important thing is consistency. Another thing I can do is, which is one of the requirements, I'm going to highlight heading 1, and I'm going to draw your attention to the fact that headings needs to be between 13 and 18 points. Normal text between 10 and 12, but headings between 13 and 18. So maybe I'll use a strategy like this. This is 20. It's too big. I will make it, let's say, 16, and update heading 1. So all the heading 1s are 16, but now heading 2 is too big. So I'm going to highlight one of my heading 2s and make it, let's say, 14. Maybe make it bold, maybe change its color like this, and then do the same thing by right-clicking and updating heading 2. And now all my heading 2s are the same. There's so many options for you to like dress this up to look, the way that matches, your personality. I can also decide that the font for, normal text is, boring to me. So I can select a piece of normal text and go through other fonts. Maybe I like a font called Aptos. Maybe Aptos Light. Yeah, I like that. Normal. Update normal to match selection. And now all my normal text. So the idea is that you do it to one of them and then you go to the style, right click and update to do it to all of them. The idea again is consistency. Whatever you do to one of them, you do to all of them. Let's go and see if we covered all the requirements. So that was really step number 8. That optional, you may use one of the themes that are like, a package deal of fonts and colors and so on. If you do, you must change them and make sure that you're using a theme and not a template, because it's still, your design. Once you've completed all the revision and the editing process, you're looking at this, you're checking all the requirements, you go, yeah, I gave the teacher everything he wanted, my resume looks great, there's no spelling errors there, everything's cool. You may decide also that your name is too big, and you can change that. Personally, I don't like centering things, but some people take the very top and align it center like this. Totally up to you. It may be a style that is, that is found in your industry. But how do you submit this? Because right now what we have is a Word file, and it's, in the format of a Word file, also known as DOCX. When you submit, you need to submit it twice. Once you've completed, save your resume and then upload and submit your resume in 2 formats. DOCX is the Word, but also in PDF. The PDF is especially important if you used a font that the people who you're sending this to, they may not have that font. If you send them a PDF, they will see the font because PDF embeds the fonts. The Word file needs to be called by, your name, resume, and that's what we've been working on for, since tutorial number 1. It's a Word file. How do I save it as a PDF? Very simple. If this was Windows, the File tab would be right here, just to the left of Home. And since this is a Mac, I have a File menu, but both of them have a command called Save As. The only thing that I have to change on the Save As is the file format right here. Instead of Word, I'm going to scroll down and find PDF. On Windows, this arrangement of the window might be a little different, but it will have the same options. The other thing that it says is that the name of the file must be, your name, resume, PDF. Look at the requirements, just so I can tell them apart. The Word file is your last name _ resume, and the PDF will be called your last name resume PDF. It's a good idea to remember where you saved it. Probably next to where you saved the Word file will be fine. Sometimes it'll say save, sometimes it'll say export. On some Windows computers, it'll actually open it in a browser. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that when I go to my computer and I look at downloads and I look at, here it is, my PDF, and here is my Word file. And you need to upload both of them. If I double click to open my PDF, on some computers, it'll open in a browser. On some computers, it'll open in, Acrobat Reader. For Mac users, it'll probably open with a software called Preview. But It's like a digital print. It freezes the look of this. This makes it much easier for people to look at, even if they don't have the specific fonts that you used. So you're going to build the Word file, but then also save it, of course, when you're done as a PDF. I'm also emphasizing that at this point, if you found something that you want to fix, you will need to fix it in the Word file, but then save another PDF, because editing a PDF is much harder. So you save the PDF when you think you are done editing. Let's see if there are any last remarks on the requirements. It also says that depending on the standards of your industry, you may change the order of the main sections. For instance, in STEM, in science, in many fields, it's expected that skills will come before education. How are we going to find it out? By doing your little research. There's also frequently asked questions that I get from students all the time. Question number 1, can my resume be longer than one page? The answer is yes, if the page starts in a logical place, and we covered that. This resume is longer than one page. It has 2 pages, but it starts with a heading. The second page starts with a heading. You don't need page numbers. I don't believe that, resumes need page numbers. The next frequently asked question is, what if I don't have job experience yet? Like I said, you can list volunteer work, even work that you did for friends, even unofficial things. You joined a certain activity and so on, as long as you make it look like a job. Worst comes to worst, you can't find anything that looks like a job. Make up something that looks like, let's say, the job you're dreaming of getting, as long as it meets the format that I showed you. Overall, the way I'm going to grade this is I'm going to put most of the weight on format, because that's really what I'm teaching you. Content would be especially like, the language and typos and grammatical errors and things like that. Errors, depending, deductions from 10 to 30%, depending on how bad they are. There should be 0 spelling, 0 grammatical errors, 0 typographical errors, and so on. I'm absolutely telling you not to underline text. A long time ago, underlining text was a way of emphasizing it. Like, let me show you what not to do. For instance, you might say, oh, why don't I take those heading 1s and give them an underline like this? The reason we don't do this anymore in the last just about 30 years, I'm going to undo, is because nowadays underline things implicate that it's a link, and if you underline something that's not a link, they're going to try to click on it and nothing happens, so you just annoyed the user, and that's the last thing you want to do when someone reads your resume. So don't underline. No slang, no not even nicknames or anything like that. It needs to be professional English, and also don't include personal things. I know it's like tempting to say, oh, I'm also, my hobby is D&D, and I, do whatever. I'm a dog mom. Don't include your birthday, not the country you were born in, family things and so on. They do not belong in a professional resume. Last but not least, on the same module, I also included in a PDF format a sample of a resume. Let me click on it. That's the resume that all those screenshots were taken from. Of course, you're not going to copy any of the content, but if you're wondering, like, okay, what does a resume look like that the teacher wants to see? See, in this case, it nicely fit into one page. And it can, if you want to. Again, this is for you to be inspired by, but definitely not copy. If you have any questions, or something that is unclear with those 3 parts of the tutorial, feel free, of course, to either ask me the next time you see me in class or email me.